When you listen to how people talked about the economy during the Trump years, it often sounds like a big national pep rally. It's all about strength, recovery, and of course, winning. But today we're going to slow down a bit and look at the economy through a completely different lens, one that asks a much tougher set of questions. It's a lens that's less concerned with if we're winning and more concerned with, well, who is winning.
I mean, we've all heard this kind of thing, right? It's powerful, it's optimistic, and it frames the whole economy as this big national comeback story, like we're all on the same team, pulling in the same direction. And so the conversation always revolves around these big buzzwords. We're always talking about tariffs, inflation, jobs, manufacturing, all framed as this big scorecard for national strength. And we're kind of taught to believe that these are the only numbers that matter. They tell us if the country is winning or losing.
So yeah, it's a familiar story. A story that says, hey, policies like tariffs and deregulation, these are the keys to a big American comeback. It's super simple, really direct. And honestly, it's pretty compelling.
But what if that simple story is missing, like the most important part? This is where a Marxist way of looking at things comes in. It basically tells us to just hit pause, to look past all that patriotic language and, well, to start asking questions from a completely different angle. So instead of just asking, hey, is the economy strong? This framework kicks things off with 3 really basic, almost deceptively simple questions. But trust me, they change everything. Okay, first question, who owns stuff? I mean, who owns the factories, the companies, the software, all the capital that actually makes the economy go round? All right, second, who does the work? Who's actually on the ground spending their time and their energy to make all the products and provide all the services? And then the big one, the third question, who profits? Who gets to keep the value that's created by all that work? See what's happening here? What's so interesting is that these 3 questions immediately shift our focus. We stop talking about some big, vague national we, and we start looking at the actual relationships between people inside the economy.
And from this point of view, capitalism isn't just about the free market. It's a whole social system that's built on a really specific dynamic. You have a group of people who own things, the means of production, and they hire another group of people who don't own those things to work for them. And the whole point is to generate a profit from that labor.
This slide really breaks it down perfectly. The economy isn't just one big blob. It's a relationship between 2 groups in very, very different situations. On one side, you have the people who own capital. They can survive, even thrive, just from what they own, and they can wait out economic shocks. But on the other side, you have the people who have to sell their time just to live. And when those shocks hit, they're the ones who absorb it. Through debt, through layoffs, you name it.
Okay, so this is all a bit abstract, right? Let's make it real. How can we use this lens to understand something super specific, like, say, a signature policy from the Trump administration, tariffs? So the national story we're told is that tariffs are all about strengthening American businesses, right? It's a symbol of national power. But the Marxist approach just cuts right through all that noise. It asks 2 simple questions. Who's footing the bill for this? And if there are any benefits, who's actually pocketing them?
Now, someone who supports the policy might point to a number like this. Let's say a 4.3% unemployment rate. And on the surface, that looks great. It seems to prove the whole national comeback story is working. It looks like a clear win because, hey, more people have jobs. But what if at the exact same time, the prices of everything you buy jumped by, say, almost a full percent? See, this is where that simple story starts to fall apart. An economy isn't just a headline number. It's about the actual real-life situation for the people who are working those jobs.
And this is the key takeaway. This framework makes us look under the hood, past the headlines. So if prices are going up, who really feels that pinch? Is it the person who owns the company or the person living paycheck to paycheck? And if jobs are coming back, what kind of jobs are they? Are we talking stable careers with benefits, or are we talking about precarious, low-wage gigs? The national story, it just doesn't ask these kinds of questions.
So what's the bottom line? Really, what this way of thinking gives us is a new tool. It's a tool for being a little bit skeptical, for questioning that simple surface-level story about the economy we hear all the time, no matter if it's coming from a politician or a news anchor.
Because from this perspective, labor isn't just another line item on a spreadsheet. It's not just a cost of doing business.
It's seen as the actual human engine that creates all the value in the system. And yet, it's usually the part of the equation with the least amount of say in where all that value actually goes. And that kind of leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. Maybe the most important question we can ask about the economy isn't whether it's strong or weak based on some abstract number. Maybe the real question is all about its structure. Who's in control, and what is the actual day-to-day reality for the very people whose work makes the whole thing run in the first place? All right, so today we're going to dive into a phrase we hear constantly, economic nationalism. But we're going to look at it through a lens that really flips the whole idea on its head, the Marxist critique. You know the slogans. I mean, they're everywhere in our politics, especially over the last several years. Things like, and bring jobs home. They're simple, they're powerful, and, they tap into a very real desire for security. And this one, defend the worker. I mean, on the surface, who could possibly argue with that? This language is incredibly effective politics. Because what this kind of language does is it sells us on a story. The story that the entire country's economy is one big shared project. The idea is that we're all on the same team, right? You've got the workers, you've got the company owners, the government, everyone pulling together for the good of the nation. It's a really powerful story of unity. But this is exactly where the Marxist perspective gets deeply suspicious. Not because it thinks nations are imaginary, but because it insists there's one thing you absolutely cannot ignore: class. And that suspicion really just boils down to one simple but game-changing question. When we talk about protecting the economy, whose economy are we really protecting? And this slide really nails the difference. The nationalist question is pretty straightforward. Is the economy strong? But the Marxist question cuts so much deeper. It doesn't just ask if it's strong, it asks, who is all this strength actually for? Who does the economy serve? Is it the people who own the capital or the people who provide the labor? And this leads us to a core insight in this way of thinking. Capitalism isn't just one thing. You can almost think of it as being bilingual. So here's the idea. Capitalism is a chameleon. Sometimes it speaks the language of globalization, open borders, free markets. But other times, it wraps itself up in the flag and starts talking about national protection and tariffs. But, and this is the absolute key, beneath all those changes in language, the underlying structure, the fundamental relationship where labor works for capital, often stays exactly the same. The packaging changes, but the product might not. Okay, so let's take this out of the world of theory and apply it to something real. Tariffs are the perfect example. The official story, the one you hear from policymakers, is that tariffs are all about a national revival. They're designed to protect and bring back these crucial domestic industries like steel and aluminum. But there's always a catch, isn't there? The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says these very same policies are likely to keep inflation higher for years, and that means someone has to pay the price. The real question is, who? And this is so important to remember. We're not talking about abstract numbers in some report. These costs are real, and they are felt by real people in their everyday lives. This is where the rubber meets the road. It shows up as higher prices at the grocery store. It's in the constant stress of trying to make sure the bills and the rent get paid. It becomes this background noise of insecurity and just plain exhaustion that so many working people deal with. So to make this crystal clear, let's just imagine two people who are both told they're part of this great national project. Think about it. You have a steel executive whose company might be seeing bigger profits thanks to tariffs. And then you have a warehouse worker who's now paying more for everything. Do they experience this policy the same way? From a Marxist view, the answer is a hard no, because their positions in the economy are fundamentally different. So where does all this leave us? Well, it leads to the final critical point of this whole critique. It forces us to ask if economic nationalism has actually solved any fundamental problems for workers, or if it's just rebranded them. You see, from this point of view, the number of jobs isn't the only thing that matters. The real questions are about the quality of those jobs. Are they secure? Can you join a union? Do you have any real power to bargain for better conditions? Do you have any control over your own work? Can you actually live a dignified life on that wage? And if the answer to those questions is still no, then the fundamental problem hasn't gone anywhere. The system has just been given a new, patriotic-sounding brand name. Which leaves us with this final thought, and it's a real challenge. It's a reminder to always look past the slogans and the symbols, and to never, ever mistake nationalism for justice or industrial policy for real worker power. Okay, so Karl Marx. You hear that name and you probably picture, dusty old books, maybe some black and white photos of revolutions. But what if his ideas from way back in the 19th century are actually more relevant than ever for understanding our world today? Let's dig in. And look, it's a totally fair question. We live in an age of AI, of global finance that moves faster than we can blink. And a lot of us work in a digital world. So seriously, what could a guy writing about steam engines possibly have to say that matters to us? Well, the answer, and this is really the core idea for us today, is that Marx's real value isn't about his predictions. It's about the method he gave us. It's like a special pair of glasses for seeing the hidden tensions, the contradictions that are just baked into the system all around us. So what do we even mean by contradiction? Think of it like this. Capitalism is like a car that's built to go incredibly fast, but its engine is also designed in a way that constantly threatens to shake the whole thing apart. It's a system that creates opposing forces at the exact same time. It's incredibly dynamic, but that very dynamism creates instability. So let's start with maybe the most obvious contradiction. On one hand, the system is an absolute engine for creating immense wealth. I mean, we see it everywhere. Gleaming skyscrapers, mind-blowing technologies, huge fortunes. But at the very same time, that same engine produces this deep, profound insecurity for so many people. That constant feeling like you're just one step away from it all falling apart. All right, here's the second tension. The system is just incredible at expanding production. More factories, more gadgets, more stuff than at any point in human history. But while it's expanding all of that, it's also concentrating power. That very process of growth often funnels wealth and control into fewer and fewer hands. And the third big one is this. We're constantly told that the system is all about freedom, right? The freedom to choose your own path, to make your own way. But for most of us, that freedom comes with a catch. It's a deep dependence on having to sell our time to an employer just to make a living. It's freedom and dependence, all wrapped up together. Now, these aren't just some abstract theories from an old book. Let's take this idea of contradiction and see how it actually helps us read the headlines to make sense of all the mixed signals the economy is sending us right now. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. We're always pushed to think the economy is either good or bad, but the reality, it's way, way messier than that. You could have really positive signs happening right alongside these deep, persistent problems.
Okay, let's look at some data from March 2026. On one side, hey, things look great. We've got strong payroll gains, unemployment is super low, the official story is that the economy is humming along. But then, you look at that third bar. That's the consumer price index. It's shooting up, which means that even while more people are working, the cost of everything, from your groceries to your rent, is going up too. That's a contradiction in action. The numbers look good, but people are feeling the squeeze.
And this isn't just a blip. Even the Congressional Budget Office is forecasting this exact same tension. They're projecting that the economy will keep growing, but at the same time, they're also projecting that inflation is going to stay high for years. It's like the system is hitting the gas and the brake at the exact same time. Growth and pressure happening simultaneously. This constant state of pressure and contradiction, it kind of leads us to a bigger idea. It makes us rethink what we even mean when we use the word crisis. Maybe it isn't just a single dramatic event like a stock market crash.
Normally, when you hear crisis, you think of an event, right? A crash, a recession, a collapse. But this method suggests that maybe crisis is also a condition, a constant, humming background noise of anxiety, exhaustion, and the feeling of being left behind, even while all this incredible wealth is being generated somewhere else.
And seeing crisis as a condition helps us finally make sense of that feeling so many of us have. The one where you look at the news and the official numbers look good, but your own life just feels so precarious? It helps explain why the economy can look healthy on paper but still feel so deeply wrong. This crisis condition isn't just a theory, it's something people live every day. It's that feeling of being totally replaceable at your job. It's the burnout from being constantly overworked. It's that gnawing feeling that you can't really plan for the future with any certainty. It's the sense that the whole system is always moving, always turning, but it's never really moving in your direction.
And all of this brings us right back to where we started, the idea of Marxism as a method. Its real power isn't about giving us easy answers. It's about empowering us to ask better, sharper, more critical questions about the world we're living in. In this, right here is the key. The point is not to just memorize a bunch of old ideas and treat them like scripture. It's about using the core concepts as a toolkit, as a method for looking at the world differently.
So instead of only asking the standard question, is the economy growing? This method pushes us to ask something deeper. Okay, but who controls that growth? And who's really benefiting from it? And instead of just asking, is the nation stronger? We're pushed to ask a more fundamental question. Does that national strength actually translate into workers being less dominated, more free in their own lives? At the end of the day, what this method really does is something incredibly powerful. It denaturalizes capitalism. It reminds us that our economic system isn't like gravity or the weather. It's not some eternal, unchangeable law of nature. It's a system that was built by people. It has a history. And that leads to a final, really provocative thought. If systems were made by people, that means they're not set in stone. It means they can be changed. They can be remade. And that's a question really worth thinking about.